What's up, guys? Thank you for watching the Armchair Verdict, the home of sensible boxing talk. And in today's video, I need to have a talk about Canelo Alvarez and the way in which he's ducked David Benavidez over the past few years. Now, with this whole Terence Crawford mega fight, super fight going on, I feel like it's distracted people from this fact. And this is a very controversial topic in boxing, which splits and divides a lot of people. There are many people who feel like Canelo's been in the game a long time. He's got the best resume. He's fought everyone. He's done it all. He's earned the right to fight who he wants, to do what he wants. But I can tell you right now, I'm not one of those people. I make this video as someone who's been a huge fan of Canelo Alvarez for many years. I've followed his career probably for about 15 years or so. And maybe that's why I'm so disappointed by the way that he's carried himself over the past 3 years or so. Because prior to that, he was the gold standard of how a top professional boxer should conduct himself. This was the kid who was at 21 years old taking on Shane Mosley, Austin Trout. At 23 years old, he took on Floyd Mayweather Jr. in a fight where there was a rehydration clause, which meant he had to drain himself down to 152 pounds and put himself at a disadvantage. But he wasn't fazed. He took on the challenge. In that fight, he was beaten badly and schooled, but he didn't let that keep him down. He learned from the experience, he grew from it and became a much better fighter. He then went on to beat fighters like Erislandy Lara, Miguel Cotto, Gennady Golovkin, Daniel Jacobs. Then he went up to 175 pounds, light heavyweight, and took on the crusher Sergey Kovalev and knocked him out and became the light heavyweight champion of the world. And then let's not forget that incredible run that he went on to become super middleweight undisputed champion, capturing all 4 belts. He did that fighting 4 times in 11 months. Let me repeat that for you. He fought 4 times in 11 months to become undisputed super middleweight champion. That kind of activity from a top professional boxer is unheard of these days. You'll be lucky to see your favorite fighters fight twice a year. Look at Terence Crawford, look at Usyk, Tyson Fury, Anthony Joshua, all these guys. Look at their records over the past 4 years and tell me how many times they fought per year. Crawford was the gold standard. He was the benchmark of how a top fighter should carry themselves. So I don't know what's gone wrong. In my opinion, what's gone wrong is Dimitri Bivol. Before he fought Dimitri Bivol, do you remember all the talk he was saying, oh, I want to go up to cruiserweight. I want to fight Makabu. He was at the WBC convention with Makabu, squaring off, facing off with him, standing side by side, posing with the belt. That fight was really close to happening. He was even saying he was going to fight Alexander Usyk for the heavyweight titles. That was something that interested him. Then he fought Dimitri Bivol for the light heavyweight title instead. And he was beaten badly, like comprehensively beaten in a way that I've not seen him outclassed since he fought Floyd Mayweather. I don't know what happened in that fight. I think it was a bit of a reality check for Canelo because all these ambitious plans and chasing greatness, that's when it all stopped. I would go as far to say that I don't think he's taken on a top super middleweight contender since becoming super middleweight champion. If we have a look at his record now since becoming super middleweight champion when he beat Caleb Plant, he lost to Bivol at light heavyweight. Then he fought Gennady Golovkin to defend his super middleweight titles. Gennady Golovkin, very good fighter, but he's not a top super middleweight contender. In fact, he was clearly over the hill. He was 40 years old and he had never fought at super middleweight before. So that wasn't a top contender. John Ryder, that was a mandatory challenger, so I'll give him a bit of a pass for that. It is what it is. If you get mandated to fight him, you either give up your belt or you fight your mandatory. So we'll let that one slide. Jermell Charlo. Jermell Charlo was a guy who campaigned 2 weight classes below Canelo Alvarez at 154 pounds. He had no business being in the ring with Canelo. It's ridiculous. Jaime Munguia, a guy that fought at 154 and 160, had a couple of fights at 168. I think he stopped John Ryder and he had a very contentious fight with Derevyanchenko, a fight which I think he should have lost, and many other people agree with me. So I don't know what he did to earn the right to face Canelo. Edgar Berlanga. Now, the whole build-up to the Berlanga fight, the best I could hear people come up with is, oh, the Puerto Rican and Mexican rivalry, it brings out the best fights, the best atmospheres. Berlanga's got the Puerto Rican people behind him. It's going to be amazing. That was the best they could do to sell this fight because there was nothing else they could say. Edgar Berlanga's career, accomplishments, there was nothing they could say to justify him getting that fight. because he hadn't earned it. He wasn't good enough. Then we had William Skull, and we saw how that fight went. Pathetic performance. Now, my view on this, Canelo Alvarez is getting paid a lot of money to fight these guys. He's getting paid, what, 30 million a go? And I wouldn't have such a problem if he wasn't holding on to the super middleweight titles. If he gave up the belts and said, look, yeah, I'm going to fight who I want on my terms when I want, and gave up the belts, I wouldn't have that much of a problem with it. But by holding on to those belts, he's denying people the chance to chase greatness, the chance to fulfill their dream of becoming a world champion. They're just, all these guys, Diego Pacheco, Christian and Billy, they're hanging around at super middleweight hoping that Canelo either drops the belts or retires so they can get their shot at becoming a world champion. Because if that doesn't happen, then they're not getting their shot. David Benavidez realized he wasn't getting his shot. Now he's moved up to light heavyweight to try and become a world champion that way. I'm even hearing he's thinking of going up to cruiserweight because Bivol and Beterbiev don't want to fight him and they want to fight a third fight and do a trilogy, which I don't have a huge problem with because they're one-on-one and that's two top fighters fighting each other. It sucks for David Benavidez, but it is what it is. But we shouldn't be in a situation where top contenders are getting cast aside for the likes of Edgar Berlanga to get the shot, and then they're moving out of the division. And the excuses which Canelo Alvarez has given for not fighting Benavidez are pathetic. I've heard him say, oh, I'm not going to fight Benavidez because he will rehydrate to much bigger than I am in the ring and it's not worth it. Then I heard him say, oh, Benavidez was disrespectful when he called me out. That's not the way you get a fight with me. And then I've heard he wanted $200 million to fight Benavidez. Right? What is this? You need $200 million to fight this guy? Why do you need $200 million? You're supposed to be the undisputed champion. You're supposed to take on all comers. Now, for the people saying that he's earned the right to fight who he wants and do what he wants, no, this is sport. We watch sport to see who the best in the world is. You know, let's use football as an example. I'm a big football fan. I know I've got viewers who watch my channel from the United States. So for you, that's soccer. In soccer, football, whatever you want to call it. Imagine Real Madrid won the Champions League next season, their 16th Champions League title, way more than everyone else. But they decided to say, oh, you know what? We've won way more Champions Leagues than everyone else. We're the best team. We've done it all. Next season, when we defend our Champions League title, if you want us in a competition, we're not going to show up unless you make sure that we don't have to play Paris Saint-Germain, Barcelona, Liverpool, Manchester City. That's the only way we're defending our title. We want to play Burnley. We want to play Southampton to defend our title. That's the only way we're going to show up. Or imagine in tennis, Roger Federer, when he won his 7th Wimbledon title, he decided to say, okay, I'm the best now. I'm the GOAT. I've won it the most times. If you want me to show up at Wimbledon next year, I don't want Rafael Nadal there. And I don't want Novak Djokovic there. I'm not defending against those guys because I'm the GOAT. I've earned the right to play who I want. This happens in no other sport. And it shouldn't be happening in boxing. The sanctioning bodies need to step in, but they're not going to do it because they want the sanctioning fee from Canelo because he makes the most money. And it's wrong. It's wrong on so many levels. Contenders like David Benavidez aren't given the same opportunities that Canelo was given that made him great, world championship opportunities. We've got Turki Al-Sheikh in the game now working with Canelo. And I'm really, really hoping that he can put up the money and convince Canelo to do the right thing and take this fight because it needs to happen. It's ridiculous for Benavidez. And I don't want to see any catch weights. I don't want to see any silly stipulations in the contract that put Benavidez at a disadvantage. No rehydration clauses, nothing like that. 2 men at the right weight limit, suits them both. May the best man win. That's what boxing was built on. That's what made us love this sport. So that's my views on Canelo Alvarez ducking David Benavidez because that's what he's doing. He's ducking David Benavidez. There's no two ways about it. Guys, if you disagree with me, if you agree with me, let me know in the comments. Let me know your thoughts. Do you think I'm being harsh? Do you think I'm being fair? Do you think Canelo's earned the right to fight who he wants? Or do you think it's wrong? And as always, please don't forget, if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel and like the video. But that's all I've got to say on this subject, and I'll see you on the next one.